What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome back into the Country Roads Webcast. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz. And before we get into this video, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. If you would do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Giving us a like on this video will really help not only its performance, but future videos performances here on the channel as well. And if you're a WVU fan and you haven't already, be sure hit that subscribe button. Helps us and it helps you, as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. And what we'll be getting into today is, of course, part 2 of the series we started yesterday, where we're trying to project some of West Virginia's highest overall players that will be in EA Sports College Football 25. Yesterday, brought you the offensive video. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, I provided some honorable mentions and then my top 5 highest overall players that I believe West Virginia will have on the initial ratings for EA Sports College Football 25. I'll try and put a card for that video here in this one if you didn't get a chance to check it out. But today we're talking the defense. So I've got 5 honorable mentions along with what I believe to potentially be their projected overall on the game, at least my prediction for what I think it could be on EA Sports College Football 25. So I'll present those 5 honorable mentions and then we'll get into what I believe could be the top 5 highest overall Mountaineers on defense in EA Sports College Football 25. So let's get into it, starting off with the honorable mentions. Some of these were really close to making the list, none other than Garnett Hollis Jr. Went back and forth on who I put at number 5 with him. I think he's got a great chance to be one of these starting corners for West Virginia and be a very productive corner at that, with a great length and one of these big additions that West Virginia just got from the transfer portal from Northwestern. I got him as a potential 79 overall for West Virginia on this defense, just missing the cut of the top 5 overall players. But then I've got Edward Vesterinen as well there, 78 overall. I think he'll be a mainstay on West Virginia's defensive line yet again. Steady Eddie, as I like to call him, Eddie V, always seem to be making good plays and doing the right things on the defensive side. Then I've got Ty French there, the linebacker West Virginia just brought in, coming up from Gardner Webb, where he really wreaked havoc. I think he's going to be a great pass rushing specialist for West Virginia. I think he's going to rack up some sacks this season. I think because of his success at the FCS level, he projects out well moving up, so I think he'll have a pretty good overall. I've got him at 78 as well, and he'll probably be sharing time with Tyron Bradley, who came in last year making a similar move, moving up from the FCS, coming from Abilene Christian. Did great things, especially in the bowl game. I'm sure we all remember the awesome one-handed pick. Hopefully EA Sports will remember that as well. I've got him maybe as a 77 overall. And then rounding out the honorable mentions, Anthony Wilson will probably get a pretty decent grade as well. A very experienced college football player at his time before he came to West Virginia in the group of 5, and then at WVU last season as a consistent starter at the cat safety position. I've got him projected as a 76 overall. So those are some honorable mentions, some guys that you were probably maybe wondering why they weren't in the list when you came to the top 5. So get those out of the way early and we can get into our top 5 now. And I talked a little bit about Northwestern transfer, Garnett Hollis. Well, we got another transfer in from Northwestern in Jaheim Joseph, a safety who was actually rated by PFF College as one of the top transfer safeties in the country there, one of the top 5, and West Virginia was able to bring him in from Northwestern as well. I went back and forth, like I said, between Garnett Hollis and Jaheim Joseph because I think both of them will be starters on West Virginia's defense probably in 2024 and play a big role in West Virginia's secondary and what hopes to be an improved secondary, and I believe will be. But I think Jaheim Joseph will certainly make an impact, and he had excellent PFF grades, nearly better than most players in West Virginia's secondary last season when you compare West Virginia's defensive PFF grades to his from over at Northwestern in 2023. So I think he'll be one of the higher rated players on West Virginia's defense when this game comes out. I've got him at an 80 overall, 5th highest overall rated player on defense. And then at number 4, it's a player we're all going to be very excited to see return. He probably won't make it back until around, just before fall camp, obviously recovering from his injury from last season. But prior to that injury, West Virginia's defense was playing a whole lot better, and I think his presence was a big reason. Personally, I believe that he was probably well on his way to a freshman All-American type of season, and I'm talking about Trey Lathan, of course. Started off with a great season at linebacker for West Virginia in 2023, debuting as a redshirt freshman. Of course, the injury took him out for the latter portion of the season, but he's going going to be back this year, and I think he will have a good rating because of his early performance last season and how much losing him affected West Virginia's defense as well down that line in 2023. So I've got him projected as 81 overall. And then we move on to the defensive line here for this next one, and we're talking about some transfers for West Virginia earlier when we were talking about the ones they brought in from Northwestern, but potentially maybe the most impactful transfer West Virginia brought in just due to how highly regarded he was is TJ Jackson. You look at his PFF grades, it's nearly a 90. He is the highest graded defensive tackle transfer in the entire country. West Virginia was able to bring him in from Troy. I think when you look at those grades, I mentioned on the offensive overall video for EA Sports College Football 25 that I'm kind of figuring that they may look at PFF grades and some of that for this initial ratings that they're releasing here for these games. And if they do, TJ Jackson will probably be rated fairly high. So I've got him projected as 83 overall and maybe the third highest overall player on West Virginia's defense when this game comes out. And then moving into our top two now, but staying on the defensive line and in-state native. So West Virginia people here, my 304 fans will love to see Sean Martin pop up here. I think he's got a great chance to be one of the higher overall rated players for West Virginia on EA Sports College Football 25, which is pretty cool because I actually went to the same high school as Sean, Bluefield High School. Of course, I graduated, a decade before he did, but nonetheless, same high school here in West Virginia. So pretty cool to see not only that he's going to be on this game, but he's going to be rated very highly. I've got him as the second highest rated player on West Virginia's defense in this game with the 86 overall. And of course, he's going to have a lot of, NFL scouts looking at him with his great size, 6'6", nearly 300 pounds, and could be in for a really good season with West Virginia's defensive line being a strength on this football team, obviously. But the leader of West Virginia's defense, I think no questions asked, it's got to be Aubrey Burks. We knew how highly regarded he was coming into last season. He was really backing up that play. He had the scary situation in the game against TCU, but he was able to recover from that and have a really strong finish to the season where he was really playing some phenomenal football. I think that'll carry into a special 2024. We know people were trying to lure him away, especially, to the SEC and, some other schools as well. We're trying to get him to transfer there, but he was able to stay loyal to the Mountaineers, and he's probably going to have a big season, and West Virginia is really going to be behind him because of his loyalty to this program, and I think it's going to pay off not only for him. He's going to have a big year, but I think West Virginia is going to have a very successful 2024 with a much improved defense, especially on the back end. And if that does indeed appear to be true, then that's going to be Aubrey Burks being a big reason why, because he is going to be the leader of this West Virginia defense in 2024, both probably on the field and off the field, providing that leadership. And he's going to be very highly regarded on this game. I think his PFF ratings show that from the past 2 seasons. He's been consistent since he's been, a starter for West Virginia. So I've got him as an 89 overall, just missing out on the 90s. I think he'll be pretty close to that, but I think that without a doubt, he'll be West Virginia's highest overall rated player on defense in EA Sports College Football 25's initial ratings. But those are just my thoughts as far as West Virginia's top 5 highest overall players potentially on the defensive side of the football when EA Sports College Football 25 comes out. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who do you think should have been in here? What do you think the overall should change to? Any thoughts you have there, really appreciate you dropping those in the comments. Those interactions really help us grow the channel here on the Country Roads Webcast. Obviously, can't wait for the release of EA Sports College Football 25. For further updates on that game, follow my other channel, JC's Pop Culture, here on YouTube, where I update the game itself a ton there, but I'll be providing an update on WVU in the game here on the Country Roads Webcast. So stay tuned here for more of that, as well as other WVU football news here on the channel. As always, I'm Jorden Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.